Harry, I want to investigate the scene of the crime. Filch usually guards the hallway where his cat was petrified, but he's away, so now is our chance.
What do you want to go back there for? It's probably haunted by now.
Do you really think there's a Chamber of Secrets?
I believe Flitwick's story, even if he doesn't. And Dumbledore himself couldn't cure Mrs. Norris. I think that whatever attacked her might not be human.
Here we are, at the scene of the crime. It can't hurt to look around, since we're already here, and Filch isn't. Remember all the water that was on the floor? Where had it come from?
The cat probably pissed itself.
From in there. Let's have a look.
I can't go in there! That's a girl's bathroom!
Oh, Ron, there won't be anyone in here. This is Moaning Myrtle's place. She haunts one of the toilets. It's been out of order all year because she keeps having tantrums and flooding the place.
I wish people would stop talking about me behind my back.
Who can the heir of Slytherin be, though? Who'd want to frighten all the non-magical folk out of Hogwarts? Draco Malfoy. You heard him call Hermione a mudblood, but how do we prove it's him?
We'd need to sneak into the Slytherin common room and ask Malfoy a few questions without him realising it's us.
What the fuck are you laughing at, Harry?
All we need would be some polyjuice potion. It transforms you into somebody else. We could change Harry into a Slytherin. No one would realise it was really Harry. Two of the potion ingredients are a bit tricky, I'm afraid. Powdered bicorn horn and shredded boomslang skin. Harry, I'll need you to get me some.
Any idea where I can find some?
There's some bicorn horn in Snape's storage room. I'm not sure about the shredded boomslang skin. I'll need to check at the library.
Lovely. Molting boomslangs and corridors full of goo. This should be enjoyable.
Well, that's what you get for laughing. So, do I need to play some sort of evasion game and not be detected by Snape, or do I have to do the equivalent of another lessons challenge course?
Hi, would you consider a trade?
No, I'm busy.
I'm in the potions classroom. Better keep an eye out for Snape.
Yeah, well, there he is. Okay, clearly he doesn't care if I just run around and visit this classroom. Maybe if I break something while he's looking.
Flipendo!
Well, I guess I don't have to actually worry about Snape after all. And just like everyone else in this game, he doesn't care if I steal from his chests. Although I guess if he did see you opening a chest in his classroom and he deducted house points from you, that would be bullshit since you don't expect consequences like that in a video game. Maybe I should touch him.
In the dungeons again. I wouldn't be surprised if you became hopelessly lost. If I ever catch you snooping about, Potter, I'll deduct all of your house points.
Well, what the fuck then? Were you not paying attention?
I have my eye on you, Potter.
Clearly you don't, but... who cares? It's just dialogue. And I guess that door doesn't open. This, on the other hand... Now we're getting somewhere. Since I don't actually know where the... I guess I've jacked all the beans now. Oh, don't tell me this is a dead end. Where am I supposed to go then? Well, at least I got a silver card out of it. But that doesn't help me get anywhere. Harry's never even been to Snape's private storeroom. At least I don't think he has. How's he supposed to know where it is, especially if the room isn't adjacent to the potions classroom in any way? I mean, this door would make sense if it wasn't locked. God, I hate running around not knowing where to go. I feel like a dumbass. Although at least this isn't as bad as the first potions lesson from the last game where I spent 2 minutes on a really easy puzzle because my brain decided to fall back asleep.
I have Wiggentree bark, still moist with dew.
I was hoping for cards, honestly.
As you wish, but these are becoming hard to find.
What are you talking about? I found a container of it in the potions classroom, exploded it in front of Snape's face so I could steal it, and he didn't even care.
I'll have something you'll like next time.
Maybe I'll find it out here. Although I don't know how many doors there are to try. Might as well see where this leads me. They hit a doorway in a corner? It's a rope! How the hell does that help me? What's the point of this? You need to anchor the ceiling to the floor? Unreal. Alright, well, nothing I can do with this. Although if I recall correctly from my previous experience playing the first game, I was told I needed to go to broomstick lessons after herbology and ended up taking a wrong turn, and for whatever reason I couldn't backtrack, so I had to take this long route through presumably the edge of the Forbidden Forest until I stumbled my way across Hagrid's hut. I hope I don't accidentally trigger some other event that starts a side quest just by walking through the wrong entrance somewhere where I can't even turn around. But there's that risk that I'm gonna take now, I guess. Well, we'll see. Okay, I'll just assume I was correct and supposed to go this way. And don't get me wrong, once you start a level it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to just let the player back out whenever they want. My whole issue was I got sucked into the forest when I was just exploring a bit on the way to my second instances of broomstick lessons or something. In fact, I don't think I ever got to the broomstick lessons more than once in that whole game as I played through it. This must be the Nickelodeon slime factory. I mean, what else is it supposed to be? People act like the ectoplasma is something to get rid of, not mass-produced. Unless this green liquid is something else entirely. Seems more fluid-like. Oh, flipendo buttons. Right. Alright, here we go. You could bake a pizza on that platform. Okay, going back up is not what I expected. There better be something good up here. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed right now. Interesting how Harry's body doesn't turn with the rotating platform that he's standing on. That's alright, probably for the best, in terms of, control, I guess. And someone built a staircase like this because... why? Why would you do that? Ugh, fucking vile. Oh, I thought for a second it would just light up and not do anything else. Another exercise where I have to put more animals into the correct boxes. Something I was already doing in video games back in preschool. Oh, come on, it's literally suspended in the air. Okay, note to self. Attack snails before walking behind them like that. God damn it, more shit to deal with. Why would Snape ever have some pathway like this to access some potion ingredients? And if you do go through this pathway multiple times, do you have to reuse the same animals so you can reshuffle them back into boxes to unlock doorways? This is absurd, and it's interesting the first few times you beat up these poor little animals, but after a while it becomes mundane and boring. It's like when I played Reader Rabbit's Preschool all over again as a 25-year-old man a few months ago and had to put animals into different spaces.
What do you know? Each of these is a farm animal.
Okay... I can't click and drag? Are you shitting me? Oh, I have to click the box. Right.
Nintendo!
I don't think it can properly expand its wings in that tight corner between the pillar and the wall. Let's see. That door was the way I came in. Okay, so it can't shoot fire between some prison bars. Damn, that was close. And I thought I got rid of that ectoplasm already. Oh, there's the activated Lumos platform.
Flipendo!
That's it? That's all I got from waking up the gargoyle and jumping across this platform? A few beans? I usually expect better things from hidden Lumos secrets. Oh, and then speaking of Reddit... Speaking of Reader Rabbit's Preschool, the reason I even had that gameplay footage in the first place was because I was going to make a video about it later. Believe it or not, some of the content in that game is actually pretty interesting, even though it's a game for preschoolers. I wasn't sure how much there would be to work with in that game, but it was something I remember as a kid, so I gave it a shot, and I was thinking, well, if there isn't much to say, it's no big deal. Come up with a different idea. But I'm really glad I recorded that footage. You can do all kinds of things in that game. You can count handicapped teddy bears that come out of hollow trees in the forest. You can have a 5-foot-tall ant lead a parade of farm animals and aliens. You have a monkey in a treehouse clean up a toy box where he was keeping pizza and unprotected compact discs together in the same space. And you can mix mustard, milk, and spider webs into a bowl and serve that meal to someone that sounds an awful lot like Bill Cosby. It's fucking great. Way better than that Roller Coaster Factory rip-off game I looked at earlier. But the point is, you find a game, start recording, and see what happens. If it turns out that it doesn't look like it will be interesting to talk about, no harm done. That's sort of what happened to me with these Harry Potter games. I was initially only going to do videos on the third game, since that's what I played as a kid and teenager. It's all I knew about. But then I thought, why not all the games in the main series? So here we are, walking through a dungeon with walls slimier than Snape himself. We even have fresh water all the way down here. What a luxury. Actually, no. That might be deceptively blue wastewater from toilets and sinks and stuff. Although, does the wizarding world need plumbing? In the sense that couldn't there be a spell that removes impurities from water and they could just use the same water over and over again? Certainly someone's thought of that already. Why would you need pipes and have to deal with wastewater? Alright, now what's all this? Mazes? I think there was some flipendo buttons up there where I'm guessing I might be able to change some pathways. Interesting. I don't know if I'll find this particularly easy or not, but this is what I've been waiting for. A different element of gameplay. Fuck you, Peeves! A different kind of gameplay that requires a different kind of problem solving. Get the fuck away. See, this is the kind of variety that keeps the game and the commentary interesting for me. Now, where should I go? I guess I'll try different combinations of buttons and see where I end up. I'm assuming each button has 2 positions it can configure its column of colored doors into, so 2 to the power of 4, since there are 4 buttons with 2 states each, means that there would be 16 total configurations this maze could be molded into. Although I probably only need to figure out 4 of them to access all the doorways. There might be some trial and error involved as well, so I'm not sure how long this is going to take. At least I've accessed one doorway now. I'm not even sure which doorway moves you on. Oh, cool. That's 2 areas I've accessed now. But I'm not sure which doorway takes you from this maze and moves you on to the next part of the dungeon level. If I find that next, then I'll have to make a mental note on where it is so I can come back to it later in an efficient manner without resorting to trial and error all over again. That could be complicated to keep track of, unfortunately. It would also be useful if I remembered which elevator was up and which one was down. Okay. Small complaint here. Since each column of doors seems to have 2 possible configurations, that effectively makes this a binary system that could be represented in 4 binary digits. And if you looked at a 4-digit binary number, you could see which state each bit is in because you're actually looking at a 0 or a 1. Or if you had some physical representation to work off of, then a 0 might be represented by a light that's turned off and a 1 represented by the same light being switched on. And you could make mental notes more easily if you had something to look at like that to tell you if you're looking at configuration 0010 or convert that into a decimal 2 or something like that. You can see where the doors are, sure, but it's not as clear what you've already tried and not tried when looking at the maze from a top-down perspective as it would be if you had a clean binary visual to look at. The flipendo buttons never light up or remained pressed in like a toggle button might, so they always look the same no matter how many times you've pressed it. At least the camera moves to give you a better view of the place, so that certainly helps. Okay, I should be able to access the area in the top left corner now. I'm also glad there isn't random shit coming out of nowhere and attacking you either. That lets you think a little more clearly. So after this, I just need to figure out the proper configuration to access the top right area, and that should lead me out of here. There's probably also multiple configurations to lead to each doorway too, now that I think about it. That doesn't matter at this point. You only need one way to get there. So that unblocks the doorway itself, but there's no way to access that second row. Nope, I blocked it again, so I'll have to undo that. Although, hang on a second, let me see something here. Yeah, it's not quite as easy to figure out looking at it from this angle. Not impossible, but the camera looking directly down is definitely more helpful. There we go. That gives me a valid pathway now. Back down we go, for the last time. Oh good, I must be nearly finished now. Let's see. I'm not even sure what Bicorn horn looks like, and apparently Harry can't even climb a ladder. Useless fucker. Imagine how pissed Snape would be if he caught me in here breaking shit. Well, actually the Snape in this game probably wouldn't care. You saw what I did earlier in the video and he didn't mind that I broke into a chest and shattered a bottle in front of his face in his very own classroom. Get some more beans. So, along with a bunch of other potion ingredients, he's also keeping a bunch of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans in the storeroom as well, but why? Do those have any sort of useful application in making potions? Or does Snape simply enjoy some fattening, guilty pleasures every once in a while? I see you back there, shitlord. Get down there. Oh jeez, did I knock into some lava here? Or do we just have a bunch of different colored liquids that are needed for potions class? It seems like the kind of quantities you would need for an industrial-sized potion brewing facility. Not for a classroom. Rotating in the wrong direction. Hopefully a running jump will let me avoid standing on it. And it worked. Oh, there's more than one platform. Okay. You gotta wait. Well, this one doesn't go all the way around. It goes back and forth. That's nice. Well, then why does this one have to do a full turn? Oh, never mind. It just... I don't know. Goes back and forth in half a turn. Okay, seriously, I have to be getting close to the end now, right? Where do I put this thing now? Alright, here we go. Okay, I was about to complain about there not being a hole available. If the doors here had stayed open, though, then I could have also thrown it into that red liquid pool. Shit, I didn't even notice that fire crab the first time I walked in here. Have I knocked anything like that into what I assume is a pool of liquid since it has an ambient green light coming from there? Does it just drown? Whoa! For a split second I thought that gnome was wearing Patrick Starr's pants. That would have been funny. I guess I'll grab this. Okay, fuck you then. That's a different kind of wall though. Oh, I didn't even see the Flipendo icon on it. Alright, let's get the starfish impersonator back into his hole. For fuck's sake, he didn't even drop the correct colored bean? And he still didn't cough up the green bean with the purple spots on it. That's the one I wanted. I have to make my way across this now. Although, I suppose I could jump across the hole where these two ectoplasma... Actually, never mind. I didn't even need to jump. Well, once again, I would like to think that being in a place where ingredients are clearly being stored would mean that I've reached the end of this level, but that wasn't the case last time. Oh, fuck you. God fucking shit. Fuck these fire crabs. Goddamn game. When is this gonna be finished? It's the second time I've been faked out thinking I was nearly at the end. Son of a bitch. Okay, apparently it can float in its own shell. That's handy. Keeps it from drowning. An object surrounded by a particle effect? That must be what I'm looking for. Can't help myself though, gotta grab these first. There we go. And finally finished.